Greetings, this is Melek Shalama Trading, and I want to give all esteem, honor, and glory unto our Alua, Yahuwah, in the name of Yahusha Mashiach, Melek of Yasharal, Kahan forever, according to the order of Melchizedek. So today is the 11th of August, 2025. Right now it's 6:27 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'm going to do a trade recap here I did on a Black Sun strategy from Camarilla Archery, and I'm just going to point out, and that's a prior stop out I did right there from a prior 360 fire strategy that I was doing a live trade on. I actually recorded this as well. So anyway, I might post that as well. So let's pull it back a little bit. All right. So in the RTH Open, we created somewhat of a distribution pattern here. We sold off, ran into heavy liquidity at around 64.10-ish. 64.09-ish, and basically it was 64.10. Yeah, I remember now. And we got some Iceberg buyers, 125 stops. Hold on one second. Right. So so we ran into these lower deviations and liquidity support. Sellers got absorbed. See buyers taking it back up. I was trying to catch a 360 fire strategy here around VPOC, which is this line right here, light blue line right there, going through, right? So that was VPOC for the day. And it came back and retested. This is also VWAP, this solid green line right there. So I took a couple stop outs here. I think I tried one trade around here, right? Got stopped out. Then it came back up to here, went short again, and got stopped out here on the break above VWAP, right? So it was a potential continuation of a downtrend, right? So downtrend, pullback, continuation. That didn't work out. So buyers absorbed the sellers, and we took it up, right? So you see selling exhaustion right there. Buyers broke out, heavy volume, rise in volume. Stopped me out right there. So we went back up to yesterday's high, right? So that's the context of this trade right now. So we're moving into yesterday's high. So let's open this up, right? So strong buying, taking out liquidity on the offer, 291 right there, right? So we eventually run into liquidity here. This is Camarilla Archery at 64.29. And we have 735 buy stops going off, right? So that's a squeeze right there. We have 325 Iceberg sellers, right? So these are the criteria I'm looking for on the Black Sun strategy. So this is the setup, right? Let's just run through this real quick. Heavy buying volume. So this is the buying climax, right? So the buying climax is the first indication of buying exhaustion or buying absorption, right? So sellers are absorbing the buyers, right, on this liquidity on the offer. And let me just open this up a little bit so you could see the minutia of how this trade plays out, how I read the liquidity. Right, let's open that up. All right. So if you look here, when we run into this liquidity, and I think they pulled at the last minute, but what I'm looking for is buying exhaustion or buying absorption, right? So we have the buy stops going off, right? So this string of buyers here is basically not real, in my opinion, not real buyers, but just buy stops coming out, right? So this is shorts getting squeezed, right? So they're not entering the market, they're exiting the market, right? So these here are passive offers. They're trying to offer this at this price, right? They're getting buy stops, filling them. And now when we pull back, this is the buying climax. This is creating the automatic reaction, right? So it's at 64.27. When price pushes back up again on heavy volume, right? These are initiative buyers trying to push price out of this initial resistance right here, or buying exhaustion, right? So these buyers push up here and they run into 325 selling icebergs. They run into this offer here on the this liquidity on the offer here, 184. We get 312 stops coming out again. So again, this is a mixture of heavy initiative buyers pushing price up through this liquidity, but it's a lot of buy stops mixed in that. So it's not only initiative buyers trying to push price out of this initial stop, right? So with that energy right there, initiative buyers will keep on buying and pushing price up. But people exiting the market on these buy stops are leaving the market. So there is no more buyers. So when we get this initial pullback here, we have to look now. Usually I enter sometimes right here, like on this buying exhaustion. As soon as we get the surge of volume, just enter right there, stop 3 points above, right? So if you're looking for a little more confirmation, you could see we pull back here, sellers pull it back, and this is where I'm looking for the buying exhaustion. You see how there's no volume right there? No volume, no buying volume, no push above this this upthrust level, 64.3150, right? And we start a push down again. Sellers started gain traction with some volume, right? So these are the upper deviations, VWAP of upper deviations. They're in line with Camarilla R3. We have a stop run above Camarilla R3, and now we start breaking down. So this is the first attempt to push back up. This is a lower point of supply as well, right? Or a test. After the upthrust, you get a test, right? So let's move along quickly. Don't want to make this video too long. I just want to kind of show you how the Black Sun strategy is executed, right? So first upper deviation, second upper deviation, or this might actually be second. Let me just hold on. Yep, right. So we're looking for distribution in the upper deviations around a resistance level, a Camarilla resistance level, right? So what do we have here? We have the upthrust, right? We have the stop run above Camarilla R3 running into liquidity, heavy volume, pushing above the third upper deviation, right? Distribution starting to take place, buyers trying to take it back up, no go, push back down, consolidation, push back, retest this 2.5 deviation right underneath Camarilla R3 and the buying climax, right? You start pushing down to the second lower deviation, consolidates there, tries to push back up, right? So this is where I entered the trade. I was a little late to the trade because I wasn't actually in front of my desk when this was taking place. I kind of came to the desk around probably somewhere around here, right? So pushing back up, low volume buying, right? But we actually pushed up a little more. So this was my entry right here, was sort of 57 buy stops, 40 icebergs. I decided to take my entry right here, right? See the liquidity on the offer, right, as resistance. But it did push up a little more, buying exhaustion. See the liquidity as resistance. Sellers take control, starts moving sideways around second upper deviation, VWAP upper deviation. And then we move along here. All right. So from a Wyckoff perspective, this is the LPSY, right? So I entered just before the LPSY was created. This was looking like exhaustion to me here. So let me just open that up so you can see it. Right. So when I get this, I'm looking for some heavy volume, right? And this is just a matter of perspective, right? Because you see when it was more zoomed in or zoomed out, right, that the volume didn't look like this, right? So when this volume attacks this liquidity here and you start getting exhaustion because I'm not seeing any buyers following through for this amount of volume, right? We should have pushed up at least to attack that liquidity. We start seeing the exhaustion immediately. So I'm taking the trade immediately, right? See my stop is right there, right? So my stop is right here. So it did push up a little more, right? Still seeing buying exhaustion. We had another little volume spike, pushed up, 12 stops came out, still not attacking this liquidity. So I'm thinking, all right, let this trade play out because we accept the risk, right? That's the risk we're taking. We're looking for LPSY. This ended up being the LPSY right here, right? So that's the LPSY right there. Selling volume showing intent to push to the downside, so that's good. We have some consolidation. We have a retest of the automatic reaction here, right? And sellers take control. Volume is increasing. The VPI and the stop runs is starting to come, starting to spike to the downside. So you see that red line, that's sell stops. This green line from purple to green, that's volume pressure imbalance, moving from sellers to extreme sellers, volume-wise, right? So let's see here. I'm gonna move across. And let's see where we get our first partial. So first partial is right here at around, I think it was 64.18, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 64.1850, right? So 6 points into profit, my trailing stop starts to execute, right? So it moves to break even. 6 points into the trade, into profit, moves to break even, which is right here. And then after that, it starts trailing by 6 points, right? So we get the first target. We get the second target here at, I think it was 64.1475 as well. 64.14.50, right? So that's the second partial, right? So then we're trailing by 6 points. You see my stop is now here, right? Price pushes back up, big liquidity, buying exhaustion, right? Absorbed by the offer right here. Starts to exhaust, sellers take control again, moves it below VWAP, that's VWAP right there. Retest VWAP, buying exhaustion again. Let me just point that out. Right, buying exhaustion, right? 42 stops, 45 iceberg sellers, heavy selling volume coming back in, taking control, pushing us down just above this liquidity here at another automatic reaction level, right? That was, I think I was trying to label some other stuff, but let me just take that off, right? This is not relevant right now. This LPSY as well, not relevant. Right, yesterday's settlement, right? So we push down from VWAP, heavy selling volume, hits my last take profit at 64.1050. Yeah, 64.1050, just above this liquidity here. So let's bring that up a little bit, right? And that's the trade right there, right? This was the IB low, 64.10. So I was just above the IB low, just above this liquidity here as well. I believe price actually broke down a lot more. But that's what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get 16 points. So I could have actually taken this trade because it's a Camarilla R3 resistance to Camarilla S3 traverse, right? So you see price spikes just below Camarilla S3 right there at 63.98, right? So if I didn't have this take profit here, if I did extend it to Camarilla R3, I would have gotten that trade because I'm trailing by 6 points and price definitely did not retrace to 6 points to stop me out, right? And I would have gotten this full target. So yeah, that's the Blackstone strategy. It's a Wyckoff distribution at Camarilla resistance levels, floor pivot resistance levels, stuff like that, right? And this ended up being from a pivot level perspective, Camarilla pivots, it's a Camarilla R3 to S3 traverse, which would have been an excellent trade, right? Nice little downtrend motion right there. And you see the buyers come right back in after that. So let's just see what happened for the rest of the day. Yeah, and that's how we closed. Yeah. All right, y'all. So it's Malek Shalama, Wyckoff Distribution, Black Sun Strategy, executed. And yeah, that's it for today. All right, y'all. Catch y'all on the next one. Trade safe, stay blessed. Shalom.